Your ability to influence others will be the difference between making it and falling flat on your face. But how do you develop influence? In this episode, I will dive into how confidence is the root of influence and my exact methodology for building that confidence. All this and more on this episode of the Founder Podcast. Okay, so first off, influence. Why do I think that influence is the difference between you making it and falling flat on your face? Influence is literally the root of everything. When a lot of entrepreneurs and people talk about sales, sales is influence, but there is more to influence than just sales. So sales is a derivative down here. The ability to influence, to like get team members to see your viewpoint. The way I define influence is getting others to see your viewpoint and the way that you interpret the world. And so the more people that you can influence or get to see from your point of view, the better off you are going to be in everything. This goes for your relationships. This goes for building an organization, selling a product, whatever it is. You have to improve your influence to be able to leave a real big impact. And so many of you guys are probably thinking like, well, I don't really care how big my impact is. Like, you are here for something bigger and greater. And so I would just encourage you to ask yourself, like, who or what am I capable of becoming? What influence can I leave on this earth? And so when we talk about influence, we're talking about things like recruiting, right? Recruiting is one of the baselines of building an incredible business, an incredible organization, because you have to get those people to see what you're trying to create so they can buy in. They're not coming just to work for a paycheck. If they were coming just to work for a paycheck, they wouldn't be entertaining the idea of coming and work for you. They would stay where they're at, right? The reason why they are considering leaving where they are at isn't necessarily because they're not getting paid enough. It's they've lost the vision. They're no longer being influenced by their organization. They're not being compensated in a way that gives them direction, gives them vision, gives them long-term. The other thing with influence, of course, is sales. Sales is influencing others and helping them to see how you have a solution to their pain, right? And so your ability to influence will drastically impact your results, right? Whether you sell more product or get more people to get behind your vision and direction, join your football team, do the thing that you want at the family reunion. Family reunions are very like top of mind right now because I got 2 going on in July. But whatever it is, your ability to influence is absolutely vital to your success. Now, here's the question is, how do I develop influence? I would argue that below influence is confidence. You have to have a very high level of confidence to be able to get anyone to believe what you are saying, right? Like when I go and I try to sell a solar system or some consulting or whatever else, people have to believe that I am uber confident in my product, my service, what I'm offering, my potential future organization, right? Like people have to think like, hey, I don't necessarily line up with this guy. I don't know if I believe what he believes, but I believe that he believes, right? And this is what we call evangelism, right? When you become an evangelist is when you have uber levels of confidence and people believe that you believe. So the question is, if confidence is the underlier of influence, how do I build my confidence? Confidence is all about integrity, doing the things that we said we were going to do and really rooted in the truth. So up here we have influence, here we have confidence, and below all that is truth and integrity. And so what do I mean by truth and integrity is, do I consistently do the things that I said I was going to do? Not necessarily what I verbalized, right? Like maybe I only verbalize the things I know I can control and I do all those things. Sure, that's going to boost your confidence. But what is the thought? What are the feelings that are going on in your brain that you are not verbalizing to anyone else? What did you commit to doing today, yesterday? What did you say that, hey, tomorrow I'm going to start my diet. Tomorrow I'm going to start working out. Tomorrow I'm going to be a better father and attend my sporting events. Tomorrow I am going to treat my wife with more love and respect. Tomorrow I'm going to start praying. Tomorrow I am going to knock one more door. Tomorrow I am going to make one more ad. Tomorrow, whatever it is that you committed right here, maybe you didn't even write it down, right? It all starts with the thoughts that are going on in our mind. And the question I want you to ask yourself right now is, are my actions lining up with the things that I am committing to myself? And this is rooted in quit lying to yourself. It is so imperative that we become truthful. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to do everything that you told yourself you were going to do, but you have to be very aware of when you did and when you didn't. Okay. So if I say tomorrow I'm going to start working out and I don't start working out, what do I tell myself? Chris Lee is not a man of his word. Chris Lee does not do what he said he was going to do. And how that translates in the real world is when I go and I try portraying confidence and influencing others, and I say, hey, you're going to love this. It's going to be the best solution, your product. Or, hey, come and join my organization. We're going to go and build this over the next 5 years, and it's going to be absolutely crazy and incredible. My confidence is going to be low if deep down inside I know that I don't do the things that I say I'm going to do. But when I get those little votes of confidence, when it's like, okay, look, I want to start working out tomorrow. I know that I'm probably not going to get a 3-hour workout, but tomorrow I'm going to do 10 push-ups. Okay. And then tomorrow I go and I do 10 push-ups. Check. That's a vote in the right direction. Now, it is also important to understand that life, mentality, or whatnot, we operate on a voting structure. Okay. Not all votes are going to be perfect. You're not going to, perfection is a trajectory. It's not a destination. It's not something that you're going to achieve today. Okay. So every time I do something that I said I was going to do, that's a vote in the confidence level. Anytime I break that, I break my integrity. I said I was going to do 10 push-ups and then I didn't. That is a check in the negative column. But there is a way to fix that. When you check the negative column, like I committed to doing 10 push-ups tomorrow, and then tomorrow I don't do that. A reality check of the truth, right? This is why I talk about truth and integrity being the most important thing. When I look myself square in the eyes and I say, Chris, you failed. You did not do the 10 push-ups. So the opposite of what typically happens is, say maybe I went and I did the 2 push-ups and I told myself I was going to do 10. What we start justifying in ourselves, instead of addressing the truth that, hey, I did not do my 10, we say, well, at least I did something. At least I went in the right direction. At least there was, progress made. That's not the truth. And when you lie to yourself, you are taking away from your confidence. And when you take away from your confidence, you take away from your ability to go and influence others. And so what I want you to understand is, like, every single day, the words and the feelings, the things that you write down, the commitments that you make, these are imperative to fulfilling on, or at least addressing, having a real inventory checkup of, like, okay, where am I doing the things I said I was going to do? Where am I failing? And on the things that I'm failing, what can I do to improve them? As you do that, you will continue to check more boxes in the confidence column. And so when I sit down and I have a 5-year roadmap and I got 2 employees in my garage and we're sweating and it like doesn't seem like anything's probable, and I look them square in the eyes and I say, look, over the next 5 years, we are going to build the largest solar provider in the Pacific Northwest. We're going to be doing $100 million a year. We're going to have 500 employees. For you to be able to progress from this sweaty seat to that, there's going to be several leadership opportunities if you take advantage of them. And when I look at them and I say these things, and I can say it with confidence because I know that Chris Lee is a man of his word. And what I say that I'm going to do, I am going to do it because this morning I showed up in the gym. This morning I woke up at 5:30. This morning I ate the right meal. This morning I treated my wife with respect. This morning I spent time in the scriptures. This morning I spent time praying to my God. This morning I spent time catching with my son because that's what I said I was going to do. Thus, my confidence is up. And I can portray that message with the heart of an evangelist, and people begin to see, wow, this doesn't seem real. I'm sitting in a garage sweating my butt off. But man, it seems like this guy is pretty dang confident and has a plan. So confidence is building, doing what you say you're going to do, and also having an absolute clear vision. When I have built a roadmap, when I have figured out the justification, I can't just say I'm going to go do 100 million a year and have no plan. I have to have a detailed plan that justifies my ability to say I'm going to go and do $100 million a year. It may seem unreasonable in the moment, but if I have created a roadmap from here to there, now I'm portraying that confidence. So you got to do what you say you're going to do. You got to create a vision and an exact roadmap of how you get there. Now, sometimes you're not going to have a perfect solution. Sometimes you're going to think to yourself, like, I don't know exactly how I'm going to take this leap, but I know it's possible through God, through effort, through other talent, and I'm going to figure out a way to get there. That is the level of faith. That is the level of hope that you've got to take to go and get it. So guys, I implore you, start today by doing little things. You don't got to do the big things. You don't got to go and commit to 2 hours in the gym. Say, I am going to do a push-up, do a push-up. I'm going to send 5 kind texts or gratitude texts to friends and family. Send those texts. Write it down. It becomes more powerful. It starts in the mind. Once you write it down, it becomes more verbalized. Once you say it out loud to others, it's even more verbalized. You throw it on social media. You get accountability from your friends. And then you go and you do it. This builds more and more confidence, along with an incredible plan, is going to give you the power to influence and get what you want out of this life. Hopefully you found value from this podcast. Until next time.